Okay. My full name, John Petrick.
John Petrick.
Petrick, P-E-T-R-I-K.
Perfect. They like it when we spell the name because then they
Yeah.
get the good spelling and exact spelling. It seems like there were a lot of European names around here.
There were quite a few immigrants working in the paper mill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How did you get all the way to Red Rock?
all the way to Red Rock. Oh,
You didn't start there.
No, I didn't start
I don't
there.
think so.
Yeah, I came to Canada in 1956 as a Red Cross immigrant.
Oh,
The Red Cross brought me over
really?
among 200,000 other Hungarians.
Okay.
And a lot of them settled all the way across the country, and I managed to pick Thunder. Actually, and that time it was Fort William and Port Arthur.
Why did so many Europeans pick Northern Ontario?
Well, not so many, but we didn't know the country, so of course you had to kind of decide where you would think you'd like to live.
Yeah.
And so we had a train load coming across the country, and the family brought me out. They decided, well, this is the middle of Canada, and so this is a good place to start, and if you don't like it, we can go east or west. So
That's good reasoning.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people dropped off in Montreal, Toronto, Fort William at this time, and went to Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Vancouver. So the
How
train
old
load-
were you when your family brought you
I
there?
was 16 years
16.
old. Yeah.
So you were already a teenager.
Yeah, 16 would be.
Was it exciting to come to a new country?
Oh, it was interesting. I
Yeah.
had no idea what to look forward to because we didn't know much of Canada
Yeah.
back in Europe, in Hungary,
Were you used to cold temperatures?
Not really. We had no idea. Again, the climate.
Yeah.
Europe, where Hungary is a fairly moderate climate, and we don't have too much snow and too many cold wintry days. But it didn't matter. You know what? We were escaping communism.
And that was the
That was the reason for all the
wanted
people
the
leaving.
freedom that
We were
you
looking
could
for
find.
freedom and a new way of life, and so.
You were 16. Did you have to go to school or did you go
Yeah.
into the workforce?
No, I went to school for a year, and then actually I had to learn English first, of course, because I had no clue about the English language.
Who taught you English?
I went to, actually I had a health problem, and so they put me in a hospital, and that's where they taught me English.
The nurses. Maybe the nurses taught you?
Well, no, they had actually teachers coming into the hospital.
Wow.
And we had classes for immigrants.
Wow, I
And
didn't
so
know that.
we started the basics,
Yeah.
I think we had 3 books, if I can remember. We had a brown, a yellow, and a green book, and gradually, I don't know if you know about people teaching English, but that's how you started.
That's how you started. Was it frustrating to you or were you happy? Was it
Yeah,
kind
it was
of easy?
interesting. I was 16 years old, and so I was, pretty open-minded about it, and especially you wanted to learn
You
the language.
really wanted,
because
yeah.
You were in the
You had a
sanatorium
reason.
too, remember to say?
Yeah, that's where the
You was in
hospital.
that?
That was the hospital.
Yeah.
That's where you were able
Yeah,
to
be able
make
to
it
learn.
out better, and
Really
the
a
English
hospital.
teachers were there and everything.
Yeah, they were actually had people, the teachers coming in. I'm not too sure. I can't remember who but they had actually teachers coming in to teach immigrants, people that didn't speak the language.
Okay. And then, so after you learned English, did you say you did continue on in school?
Yeah,
You did.
I went to night school.
High school?
Night school.
Night school.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you did it.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Did
so-
you learn a trade?
Well, I didn't get a chance to learn a trade because, we didn't really speak the language well.
So you were learning academics,
Academics, yeah.
basic things.
Basic things. That was the primary objective of most people to.
Do you remember what town or city that was?
Here in Fort.
In Fort William.
I haven't
Everything was
moved.
Fort William.
I haven't moved in. We've been here since '56, so that's like 55 years.
Yeah.
And
Are you still living in Fort William?
I'm still living in Fort William.
Oh, okay.
Thunder Bay now, of course.
Thunder Bay, yeah.
You know the history. Where are you from?
I'm from just the south from Orangeville, but I know I've learned the history of Thunder Bay. How
Okay.
there was Fort William and Port
Fort
Arthur,
William,
and
Port
then
Arthur,
they
they
joined.
amalgamated. They
in the
amalgamated.
70s.
I can't recollect exactly.
I think
85, 89.
70s or something.
70s, yeah, somewhere there. So then it became Thunder Bay.
Yeah, and then you heard about the mill in Red Rock. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I actually had a friend that went there. He was a tradesman, and he said, you know what, if you want a job, we can learn. Yeah, I'll get you in and try to learn a trade. So then, of course, I was definitely interested. That was my objective, is to learn trade. And so in 1964, shortly after I got married in October '64, and I moved to Red Rock in July of '65.
Wow.
So I fairly quickly went to the Red Rock Mill, actually.
Okay. And did they supply a house for you, or did you
No.
have to
No.
rent first? Or?
We actually lived in a trailer.
Oh,
A 10 by 35 trailer is the first home we had in Red Rock.
like a mobile.
A mobile home.
Yeah.
It was
Those
a
are good.
mobile home with an attached another mobile home. So we had two 10 by 35 foot mobile home, and one was the living accommodations, like living room, a kitchen, bedroom, and the other one was like a utility room, laundry room.
That you had everything you needed.
Well, pretty well. It was
Yeah.
at that time we didn't have a child, so.
When you went to the mill, did you find it intimidating or scary, or did you kind of know your way around the machinery?
Well, by that time I spoke fairly decent English. That was almost 9 years. So, anyways, I've got a job right away. I went and I interviewed, and I actually worked for the Department of Highways for 3.5 years before that.
Before that, okay.
So then I thought, well, I want to learn a trade. I was a land surveyor for the Department of Highways for 1959 to 1965, actually.
Really?
So I worked for the Department of Highways as a land surveyor.
Like for this highway, like 17?
It's Highway 1711, yeah, east and west.
Yeah.
We were based in Thunder Bay, Fort William at the time, and we traveled the highway and we surveyed, walked through the bush and all that. It was an interesting life, but it wasn't very good when you got married,
Right.
because I was out on the road.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I want to settle down, and I couldn't find a place where I could learn a trade in Fort William. So this friend of mine said, you know what, just come out to Red Rock. We got all kinds of trades, and I'll get you in there.
That was what was so good about the mill, because they trained the people and gave them
they
the
had
trade
apprenticeship programs for everything.
Yeah, the
They had-
apprenticeship program.
They had carpenters, electricians, plumbers, instrumentation, and so I was
What was it called back then? Was it Domtar?
Domtar.
It
yeah.
was, okay.
Yeah, it was Domtar originally. When I got hired, there was Domtar, and eventually Norampac bought out
Yeah.
Domtar.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Okay.
In what year was that? I'm
maybe
not
80s.
sure.
Maybe 80s sometime.
No, it was late. It was later than that.
Oh, it was, okay.
Yeah, Norampac
90s.
didn't. I don't think Norampac. The mill wasn't Norampac for more than maybe 8 years or 9 years. So it was Domtar, and it was a very good company.
Do you
Domtar.
remember the whistle going off every day?
Oh yeah, at noon,
Yeah.
at 8 o'clock, noon, at 5 o'clock, the whistle blew
So 8 o'clock, what was that for?
for to start of the shift.
Did they have to be there right at that time, or
Oh yes,
was
oh,
it
yes.
just
Well, you had to be
a
punctual.
reminder to come?
Yeah, well, it was the start of the working day.
Yeah.
And I worked, I got hired in the office because at the time they didn't have any apprenticeship programs open. So they said once you get into the mill, then you can apply for an apprenticeship.
Wow.
And so, but unfortunately, as it turned out, I never did get into the trades because I got into the office union. They were unionized. We had 5 unions at the paper mill. And so it was, eventually I learned that it was hard to get across the union lines because they preferred to have their own people work as an apprenticeship. So they always, I tried for about 10 years, and I couldn't get into. The electricians tried to promote their own people, like the electrical helpers.
Yeah.
Usually had a first crack at apprenticeship. So then I tried the carpenters, couldn't get in there. I tried plumbers, millwrights, and eventually I thought, you know what, I'm just going to stay in the office. I like the hours. I worked 8 to 4:30, Monday to Friday, and the money wasn't as good as the people in the mill. But
you didn't have to work at night.
I didn't work at night, and no shift work, and no weekends.
And also, you weren't in danger.
Well, danger wasn't that as
it wasn't too bad by then.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a concern.
Yeah.
We had Domtar had a very good safety record. They were very conscientious about the safety. So there were very few accidents, and so the safety wasn't an issue. But it was dirtier, of course. I worked in the office. It was a clean job, and so eventually I gave up the apprenticeship.
Did you ever have a party with all of the office people at Quebec Lodge?
Oh yeah, Well,
did
that
you
was
go
actually.
there?
Oh yes, yes. We had, and that was usually for management. And
management, yeah.
We were kind of the office union was considered kind of a semi-management, because we worked in the office with all the management people. So we always had parties. Usually every Christmas we had a Christmas party at the Quebec Lodge.
And how did they celebrate? How did they treat you?
They had a chef actually. They had a Domtar had a chef, and so they.
Did they give out gifts?
Pardon?
Did they have gifts for everybody, like a present?
Not usually, but sometimes in the earlier days, sometimes they gave bonuses.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But
like a financial bonus.
Oh, it was sort of but that sort of.
Did you hear they used to give out watches to people that worked 25 years?
Yeah, that was the health and safety part. Oh. That was considered the seniority too. Mm-hmm. And I got a watch myself, and I got a plaque, and I got a nice wall clock.
You did?
Yes. So that was pretty nice of Domtar. That was, like I said, that was a very good company.
So your years there were very successful, and really, they were good years.
They were, Domtar was a very good company.
And you were able to raise your family.
Well, fortunately, yes. Even on an office worker's wages, we raised 4 kids in there, and in Red Rock, and high school.
It was still a good wage.
It was reasonable. I mean, it wasn't as good as the people in the mill, of course, but they worked longer hours, and they were a lot of tradespeople there too. So, paper makers and whatnot.
Some people even had their wives working in the mill, so there was like 2 incomes to one family.
Not too many.
Not too many.
Usually we had. I would say probably maybe 4 wives working in the office. Okay. That the guys worked in the mill.
Oh, so that's how it was. It wasn't that they were on the floor working the big machinery. It was more office workers.
The women were not working in the paper mill.
No, that would be unusual.
Well, it was really, at that time, it wasn't considered a safe job for ladies. Mm-hmm. So no, it was basically an office job.
In your downtime, what did you do for recreation?
Downtime meaning what?
Like when you didn't work?
Well, I only had weekends off, so.
That's true.
I had weekends off.
Were you a hockey player?
No, I never was a hockey player. You know what? I didn't get into hockey at all.
I hear you can play table tennis.
I played table tennis, and badminton.
That was your thing. And do you still play that?
I still play badminton. No, not table tennis.
Table tennis, yeah.
Because I hurt my shoulder. I had rotator cuff surgery, so I couldn't continue playing badminton. But I still play table tennis.
Okay, wow, that's good. You're in good shape.
Well, it is reasonably.
Yeah. Wow, that is very interesting. Do you remember anything that was of significant, like something that maybe happened that made the town very sad, or anything like that?
We had one death, one casualty in a paper mill in all the 35 years I worked.
Just one?
And that was just one fatality, and that was a sad day.
That was a sad day.
It was. We had, unfortunately, digester, a steam, basically a steam vessel that blew up.
Wow, okay.
So and
Too
that
bad.
was one of the only really bad
Mhm.
fatality that happened in Red Rock in 35 years.
Okay. And
So
generally in the office, did you have to handle anything difficult, like
I worked in
discrepancies
the time office.
time office? Okay.
Yeah. So I no, it was
That's kind of nice. You didn't have to handle anybody's complaints.
no
Not really.
it was pretty clean.
Good.
It was busy. We were very busy all the time. We used to have a payroll every week at first.
Every week.
Every week they used to get paid, and then we went to the bi-weekly payroll, so that was a little easier.
Okay.
But so we accumulated, and it was all, I don't know if you recollect IBM cards and machines.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
They had the punch cards and all that, so that was an interesting, that was the baby steps to computers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the IBM machines and the punch cards and sorting and collating, and that was my job to do.
Did the mill ever switch over to computers when
yes.
you were there?
Towards the last, I would say 4 or 5 years, they started bringing in the computers, and we eventually migrated from the data, what they call data processing equipment, from IBM into computers.
Did you like that?
Oh, it was interesting. It was a step forward in it got a little easier actually. It wasn't hands-on manhandling all these. I had 2000. I don't know if you know
Those cards.
what
we had to
box.
put in.
We had boxes of IBM cards, and they came in a box that had 2,000 cards.
Oh boy.
And that the one payroll, I had to process 10,000 cards
No,
of these IBM cards.
that's a lot.
I had to sort it, collate it, put it through 3 different machines. So it was a lot of manual labor.
Yeah.
And eventually when we went to the computer, it actually freed up a lot of that
Yeah.
hard work.
Yeah. That's very good. Do you remember a hotel being in Red Rock?
Oh yeah, the Red Rock Inn.
The Red Rock Inn?
Red Rock Inn.
Was that the only one, or was there another one at
No,
the
that
highway
was the
when you
only-
were there?
Pardon?
Was there another hotel at the highway where you turn off?
Oh yeah, there was a high the hotel at the junction of the Red Rock Road and the highway,
Yeah.
and
There was one there, and then the Red Rock Inn.
the Red Rock Inn.
Did you ever have the parties at Red Rock Inn?
Yeah,
or-
all our office, we had always had an office Christmas party every year, and we had all our parties at the Red Rock Inn.
That looks beautiful.
They had a nice ballroom, and they had catering, they had a kitchen, and so that was that was a lovely time.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that.
I noticed Domtar has a big building right beside the arena, and they said that was the office building. Is that the one you worked in?
At the arena?
Yeah, beside the arena.
No, that used to be Domtar Woodlands.
Yeah,
Yeah, that wasn't our office building. Our office building was in the mill itself.
right in the mill.
Right
Okay.
in the mill.
Yeah.
That was the Domtar office building. But the Domtar Woodlands migrated from Nipigon into Red Rock, and they built that building, which was a Domtar Woodlands operation.
Oh,
That was out in the bush cutting wood and processing chips and all that.
okay. Did you participate in any fishing derbies?
Oh yeah, every year we had a Red Rock fishing derby.
That was a big popular
That was a
event.
popular thing.
Yeah.
Actually, it was Labor Day weekend usually.
It was this weekend, wasn't
This
it?
weekend,
Yeah,
yes.
this is Labor Day
And
weekend.
they had a fish derby, and we had Domtar had every year the company sponsored the Domtar, what they would call a Domtar bond spill for the employees.
And what happened there?
Well, they
A
had
bond spiel.
a bond. You know what a bond spill is?
No.
You don't know what a bond spill is?
I don't
Okay.
think so.
It's a curling. It's
the
a friendly
curling.
curling competition.
Oh, yeah.
It's called a bond spill.
Okay.
And they're still, I don't know if Nipigon still has them, but that we had an employee and family dumped our bond spill, and they sponsored it and they paid for everything. And we had a banquet all the way to the end or not, but
Where was the banquet?
The bank was a recreation center.
Recreation center.
Upstairs, we had a nice big gym.
Oh, that's a nice gym.
Still there.
They don't do anything with that
No,
now.
no. Well,
That's
we
where
had a
your
lot
bank
of families. You know what? Red Rock had, at one time, we had 4,000 people working in the paper. 3,500, between 3,500 and 4,000 people working in the paper mill. But
how did you feel when you heard it was going to close down?
Well, by that time I wasn't employed there. I was retired.
Retired already.
Yeah,
okay.
and actually I retired in '89, and I think 92 or 93. They stayed open. The Rampak stayed open for 3 more years.
Mm-hmm. As it sort of slowly shut down.
Slowed down. We used to make newsprint. That's fine papers and cardboard, craft paper. And eventually what happened is that both products got less demand, so we were slowing down. We were having a hard time selling their thing, and that's what happened to Domtar, actually, because that's why Domtar decided that they would sell the paper mill to Rampak.
Why do you think it slowed down?
Why did it?
Yeah, why was there no demand anymore for that type of paper?
Well, newsprint, nobody's buying newspapers anymore, so that newsprint side went down. And the cardboard side, we only made corrugated, meaning the liner. We used to use what they call the liner, craft liner, and that got less demand for it. So unfortunately, times have changed, and plus the wood supply was getting very hard to get.
Hard to get. Okay.
So that increased the price per ton, and so it wasn't economically feasible to produce the need. And with the newsprint shut down probably 3-4 years prior to when the mill shut down. They couldn't sell the newspaper. They tried to find papers, but it was hard to make, and so.
Wow. You were lucky that you were able to work right up until
up till I
before.
retired.
I mean, you retired a few years before all that happened.
Well, actually, I took early retirement because they were downsizing the office. So they were asking people who wanted to get a buyout or early retirement. So
So you took it.
I was, I was only 59 when I retired. I was going to work till 65. That's what most people anticipated, being 65 is the retirement age. But, I could see the writing on the wall, unfortunately, that things were not working too well. And you know what? Rampak wasn't as good of a company as Domtar.
Okay.
You could tell they're cutting back on everything, and they're downsizing.
So you had a good career. It was good that you guys moved to Canada, right?
We were lucky that
it turned out well for you.
I was lucky that it worked out well for me.
Yeah. Do you remember? Now you wouldn't have grown up in this cottage like your wife did. You came here a little later, but there was another amethyst mine up here, and Steve Harmachek. Remember Steve from the mill?
Yes.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Well, he would take off the whole summer from the mill and use all his holidays to work up here at the.
Whereabouts? I didn't even know there was another amethyst mine.
He married into a family, the D'Souza family.
Okay.
And the D'Souza family started the amethyst mine first.
Whereabouts is that?
And D'Souza, Steve, I think, but I'm not exactly sure of his first name.
You know what? I really haven't heard of.
But you remember Steve Harmachek?
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah.
And he's still there. I saw him. I interviewed him.
Well,
He's in Red Rock.
that's the young one. I worked with his father.
Yeah?
Yes, the older Harmachek.
No way, because this Harmachek is already 90.
Well, that's the one then. Okay.
That's the one, right?
Because he's got a son there too, named Harmachek.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, his son works for CBC, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He has moved away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, Steve would come up this road all the time, and they would be selling amethyst here and all summer. Yeah, just really close to the East Moon Lake or West Moon Lake.
You know, I sort of lost touch with people, and once I retired, moved to Thunder Bay, we didn't go back to Red Rock very often.
What did you end up doing for retirement?
What do you do with retirement? Keep busy.
Did you play golf?
No, you know what? I was never a golfer. I never golfed.
You like to keep busy. What are your hobbies?
Hobbies? Well, a handyman is my hobby.
Yeah. building. Did you
Well,
build this summer?
No, well, I helped my father-in-law build this.
Oh, okay.
This addition to the thing there. He had the camp, but we put the addition on, and I helped him build what we call a bunkhouse, a guest house for the grandkids.
I saw that. Well, thank you, John. It's been really nice interviewing you. You've been really free, and you shared a lot, and it's been really good to have you on tape. So
Well,
I hope you enjoyed it. You're a natural.